So, it has been a couple of days, and I had to ask myself first, right? Like, what am I doing with this channel? What am I doing? Sometimes you gotta ask yourself that. Like, sometimes you need to ask yourself, what are you doing? Where are you going? Like, what is the intent? Welcome. Whew. It is a new day. It is a calm day. As you can tell, your girl is calm. I still have not made it back in my room with recording because I feel like a lot of my breakthroughs, a lot of my things that happen are in my living room. And if it's in my bedroom, like, I'm not one of those people who just have a camera always at all times when breakthroughs happen. You get what I'm saying? But first, I acknowledge your presence. Welcome to the new subscribers and the subscribers who already know your girl. I appreciate you. I will never call you a follower because you do not need to be led, which is basically what this discussion is about today. But back to what I was saying. I am not one of those people. Like, I get so surprised when I'm on Instagram and I see people just recording things. Like, how do y'all stop in the moment to record it? The most precious things happen off camera. So do y'all like relive these things? Because I'm the type of person, when I feel it, I don't always have time to reach for my camera. Sometimes I just feel that thing. And then I believe that if it was really profound, that, okay, maybe I can explain it later. But I'm not going to interrupt my spiritual shifts and my breakthroughs because I ain't got no camera. We're not doing that. So, you know, I was having this conversation with myself because y'all know I talk to myself so much and I love it. And I was thinking to myself, like, what do I want to do with this channel? Like, where do I see me in this channel? And when I started this channel, it was literally just to have a space to speak, have a space to clear my mind. I felt like everybody was saying things like, Shayla, you would do so well on camera. And that's a funny thing because, see, people will tell you what they feel you will be good at, but they don't necessarily guide you or give you the tools. It's kind of like, girl, you'll be so good at doing this. And I'm like, oh yeah, so tell me more. Oh yeah, you can figure it out. Figure it out. That's the world. And that's when I realized, like, doing YouTube, in the doing of things, I learned that you got to stay on your own course. You need to have your own clear intent, because if you don't have your own clear intent, people will come and tell you what you look like you'll be good at, what you sound like you should be doing, you look like you should be doing this, all these things. And then you'll realize that you now have been pulled and tugged in all these different areas. I really believe that so many people, even myself at times, I'm like, am I really doing the thing that I should have been doing? Am I really on course? And the reality is, it's because there's so many voices of what other people said should have been, you look good doing, or you could have been doing, that it kind of got too loud. And now it's kind of like, well, dang. So where am I supposed to be? Don't let people tug you, okay? So let me stay focused on what I want to talk to y'all about. Don't listen to me. I done said all that, but that's what I feel. Don't listen. Do not. Why? I was thinking about self-help books, and I was thinking about these spiritual gurus, and I was like, why am I so annoyed with them? Can I be honest? Because y'all know I'm going to be honest. I was questioning why I was annoyed with them. And what came to me was, I was annoyed with these self-help gurus and these spiritualists and all these people who looked like they had it. I was bothered because I didn't feel like I had it. And it was kind of like these were the same people who kept breathing out that nobody is perfect, right? It takes time, it takes this, it takes that. Nobody just wakes up and just does it. But they somehow made it look like they just woke up and did it. And even though you can listen to a spiritualist or somebody on that frequency, you can hear them talk about their trials and their tribulations, there's still this form of detachment where it's like, but they still look like they figured it out. You get what I'm saying? And I think that I had to ask myself, am I one of those people? Who qualifies a person to lead and guide another person? Who qualifies you to say that you are a spiritual advisor? Because we know that in order to be a psychiatrist, you have to go to school, you have to do residency, you have to get degrees. There are physical things that state like this person is quote unquote qualified. But even in that, somebody wrote this. You got an A on this test because you were able to retain and then spew out what you remember from what somebody else wrote, and then you got an A, and now the world says you're qualified to go do something when it pertains to guiding someone. And I really had to get that in my head. And I don't want to go so deep that I lose y'all. I don't want to go so far. But I'm going to go where I'm being led to go, because I think this is going to hit for some people. Because I really believe that in the root of why so many of us are so confused is because somebody who got qualified off of the ability to be in school or be something, right? The world has qualified them. Because we are listening to people who quote unquote have been qualified, we start to question, well, who's going to qualify me? Who's going to say that, okay, well, even if you didn't go to school for this, you're still qualified? And that's why I feel like sometimes you really have to say, I'm not going to listen to any of these people. I have to be able to qualify me. I said in a video that I'm going to start following my calling, and I meant that. And Spirit had told me, even in that video, there were still certain things that were still not 100. And the things that were still not 100 was, there was still this strife within myself of, but am I really qualified? I didn't go to school for this. Nobody taught me this. Am I really qualified to assist people, to help people? I was having a moment where I was just like, why is it that I start things, but I don't finish them? And maybe you can agree to this as well. When you look at yourself as a problem, whether you start something or not, you're the main issue in your mind. When you look at yourself as a solution, whether you start something or finish it, you'll see, okay, well, I'm the solution. So whether I start it or finish it, I'm with me at all times. So it's gonna be how I need it to be. But when you consider yourself a problem or you consider yourself unqualified, you can self-sabotage yourself by starting things, right? Like letting the world know, like, look, I'm doing it. I got it. But at some point it will fizzle out because you're still with you. Your beliefs are still there. Your root of, I am not capable, I'm not qualified, I don't know, will somehow sneak up while you're doing whatever you started. And I used to get frustrated. I used to get so frustrated because I felt like everybody saw my potential. Everybody was like, Shayla, you got it, girl. And I was like, yeah, well, they're saying it, so it must be true. And I started to resent these people. I started to resent the people that believed in me, because I wish I believed in me just as much. And some of y'all are in that place. The problem that I had, and I still have with spiritual people, is they have the audacity, or self-help people, let's say, keep it different, right? They have the audacity to say nobody is perfect. We all got to go through it. Yet you put yourself on such a pedestal where people have to pay thousands and thousands and thousands to hear you speak, as if you're perfect and you figured it out. But then you're going to speak to everybody and say, but nobody got it. We all figuring it out. But pay me $5,000 to tell you this. I would get so angry, because I felt like there were people like me that was like, I just want to assist. I just want to help. I just want to do. But I ain't got all that. Like, I don't know if I'm qualified. And the more that I have been doing my work, the more I see you have to give yourself your stamp of approval. Because there will always be something that will remind you that you're probably not qualified. And you have to be able to muster up enough energy within yourself to be like, I'm silencing everybody. And I'm just gonna live my life. And those who are on the same frequency will follow. And then they'll branch into what they need to do, right? Because the reality is, we all want to be led. We all want some form of structure. And I think the world that we're going in, or the world that we're in now, there's this energy of, if I can distract you with all these things, you need a big butt, you need they're telling women to be hyper independent. They're telling men to be more feminine, more docile. There's this merge of confusion that's hitting everybody, and only a few of us see it. It's kind of like the confusion is like this, and then there's like a thin line of those who are just watching, like, does anybody see it? And those of us who are in the middle, we're getting hit with it, but we're getting hit with it because we're watching, we're observing. You get what I'm saying? But we're not on either end, because we understand the goal is to be an observer and detach. But it's so close that sometimes it brushes us, and it's like, ooh. And the brush of it all is enough to throw us completely into overdrive. We're like, I'm questioning my life. I'm questioning my finances. You get into these moments. And what I keep hearing is, stop listening to everyone. When I did my YouTube channel, my intent was never to guide anybody. And see, that's how you know when it's real, because when you're being authentic, people will follow authenticity. Once authenticity becomes mainstream, once authenticity becomes a vibe, once it becomes patent, it now becomes fake. There are a lot of authentic people who started off authentic, and now they're an autopilot now. Now they just have to maintain it, because they got so far from their authenticity that now it's like they have to live this lifestyle now. I have been having breakthroughs upon breakthroughs, because I made a decision to awaken the choice that was given to me at birth. I have awakened to acknowledging, okay, I choose this. See, we be walking around saying, I make the choice to follow my calling. No, you didn't. The correct statement should be, I am awakening to the choice that was already bestowed upon me. Now I am awakening to it. Now I am choosing to accept the choice that was already implanted. When people say we have free will, I always question, do we? Or are we awakening to what has already been in alignment? And because we're awakening, we think it's free will. Because now we're picking, but we're only picking based off of what has already been planted out. It could be a reach. That's why the topic is, don't listen to me. When you live your life, the goal is to live your life and do what you can to maintain. But be careful of not being anybody's God but yours. Be mindful of all these self-help books and all these spiritualists. Be mindful of everything. Question everything so that you have a balance where if anything falls, you're still stable in who you are. You're still grounded and rooted. Until next time.